Let's say a coin is found. They take that coin out, and that coin could have dated that entire now missing building. You have just destroyed an important piece of history by taking that out. And you may think there's nothing there, but there's never nothing there.
From an archaeological point of view, the collectors and the looters are causing irreparable damage to the history of humanity.
We're lacking resources and must fight looters and traffickers. This is the permanent drama of archaeology all over the world.
It's very hard for a poor country to develop the kind of resources needed to monitor an ancient site. But it's not just a question of wealth and poverty, it's also a question of political will and developing an ethic among people who live in rural areas, who live among great archaeological riches, not to see them as a windfall to be exploited.
One site in Guatemala, rich in artifacts and history, was saved when locals joined forces with archaeologist Arthur Demarest to take on the looters.
And I got engaged in this big battle with the looters in 2004 and 2005. The looters are heavily armed, and they kill people. There's people dying out there. There's Maya dying out there. But when the Maya helped us for the first time to hunt down these looters, recapture the monuments, was a real turning point, because the government realized that the only way you were really going to protect these sites was to engage the communities. If you work from the beginning with a site, you train the people, you create a park, they run it, there's no looting. I mean, you try to loot it, there's going to be like 700 angry Maya with machetes and a few rifles. And so they don't do it. The Maya said, this is our heritage, and don't screw with it.
Like most archaeologists, Indiana Jones's motivations have been clear from the start: to keep valuable objects out of the hands of the bad guys.
Small world, Dr. Jones. This is the second time I've had to reclaim my property from you.
That belongs in a museum.
So do you.
It belongs in a museum. The rule of thumb is, whichever state that you're digging, that government gets whatever you find. I don't get to take any of it home.
Cairo, a paradise on earth.
In the days of Indiana Jones, archaeologists could go into Egypt, into ancient Mesopotamia, these places, excavate artifacts, take them back to their museums, and there were no antiquity laws that really controlled removal of artifacts. Over the years, of course, laws have developed, and it's against the law in most countries to remove artifacts from their location. They're really regarded as property of the state.
There's a great movement now for repatriation of pieces. That is, countries of origin are demanding the restitution of pieces that they feel, or they have some evidence to show, were looted or clandestinely excavated in their countries.
Of course, during decades of the 19th century, a lot of artifacts went away from our countries. And they are now in some important museums, also abroad. There are some important collections that people think that should be here. Of course, they have a symbolic meaning, and also they are taken by the national community as symbols of identity.
This sense of national pride is illustrated by the villagers in the Temple of Doom. In the film, Indy gives back the Shankara stones to the people of the village. It is an act of selflessness that reflects the maturity of thought and attitude found in many of today's archaeologists.
Yes, I understand its power now.
Indiana Jones, throughout all of his adventures, offers a sense of respect for the sacred object. So no matter what it is, if it's a Jewish object, if it's a Christian object, if it's the crystals from the Temple of Doom, each one of these objects, the sacred gets treated with respect. So that's a very important lesson.
You could have kept it.
What for? They'd just put it in a museum, it'd be another rock collecting dust.
I believe that if he was working in 2008, Indiana Jones would be a great proponent of cultural heritage protection, and he would be on the front lines helping law enforcement stop the illicit trade in antiquities.
Now, finally, governments are starting to work more diligently to crack down on this trade. We saw this very recently on the west coast of the United States, where 5 museums were accused by prosecutors of having received looted materials.
What is the future of looting? It is my greatest hope that we are today where ecology and conservation were 35 years ago. It is everybody's problem. It is not archaeologists versus collectors. It is not museums versus scientists.
A true archaeologist, somebody who's given their life to research, wants an artifact so that it can benefit all of humanity, all of humankind.
The human record is our shared legacy. It belongs to everyone, and when we lose it, everyone loses. And it's our responsibility to pass both of these things on to future generations intact.